God Frigga dagr. I want to talk about our recent stay at Coldrum Long Barrow overnight. Recently, we, Heathens of Kent, stayed at Coldrum Long Barrow overnight to do heathen stuff. It was logistically a bit of a challenge because it's not a campsite, so some to-ing and fro-ing, getting tents and that there, not creating too much disturbance, and no amenities either. So there's things to cover, which we did. It was hard work. I reached a point where, I am in the last stages of my recovery from my injury. But that was singing, shall we say. And, in the last stages of setting up and having a fire going and that, because it had got dark, I'd realised that someone had gone missing. What I mean by that is, obviously, we had a shield for Heathens of Kent, and had taken some of my little god posts, and Frigga was missing, and could not find her. That bothered me, to the point that my friend had sort of like acknowledged, just like, that's bothering you, isn't it? And it's like, yeah. And it reached that point that after having sort of cut up all our firewood, I returned and made the long walk to return to my vehicle looking for Frigga, which, you have to cross some uneven ground, some slippery ground through a corridor. If you've ever been there, even in the summer, I don't think the mud track dries properly, which, using a phone and as torchlight, is still sort of, let's call it something of a test. When we'd gone camping towards the end of September, when we had our camp out barbecue, I had discovered then that, as great as my leg is feeling better and a lot closer to being normal, walking across the field still comes with it some need for caution. So to make this journey was again something where it's just that I recognise I've got to be careful. But with Frigga having disappeared, it bothered me. It bothered me immensely. So I got back to my vehicle, searched it, couldn't find her. I did that thing where, you check everywhere, then you check everywhere again, then you stop and think and go, well, she can't have just disappeared. And in the back of my mind, just like, this is not good. I don't like this. I'm not looking well enough. Sort of the walk from the stones to the vehicle, I'd had the torch on my phone on, looking in case she'd dropped out of a bag while we were transporting. Nothing. Then I had a moment of inspiration and checked sort of behind some boxing where a wheel arch is, and there she was. She'd, playing hide and seek. And the relief was immense. So, got a locked vehicle, returned to camp, and put him in position, next to Odin. And it was just like, oh, I feel like, she put a little test for me there, and it kind of set up some issues some groundwork for the evening, our stay overnight. What was really great about the stay is we did some things we've not done before. In particular, we stay in a Neolithic barrow overnight. We didn't rush things because it was like, obviously we needed to eat and had some discussion, and then we planned to go forward with what we had planned to do, which is we did some honouring to the land wights, to the ancestors and the gods. We'd placed some tokens that I had made because we'd sort of particularly honoured Odin, Frigga and Hel, and we did some rune chanting, which it's the first time we've done that, and as a group we've not really had a chance to discuss or dwell on it since then. It's something we will do when we next gather, and it's something we will do at our other gatherings moving forward. It went well enough, I think, and then it was really just a case of we told some stories and then maybe got a couple of hours sleep before making sure we was up to see the sunrise. There was no plan to discuss anything where we'd share what we was hoping to experience or learn from quiet time, because I think that's a very individual thing, a private thing, and working off the back of over at least 1 year of us as a group going to the stones with Kent Gorset and building a connection to the stones, to the site. And this was very much us, rather than being a part of a different group, being there for ourselves and doing some work there. And my overall feeling, and it's been a couple of weeks now, so I've been processing this somewhat. My overall feeling is that we've deepened our ties as a group to the location without looking to inject any of our own personal emotions on the site, because it's a site for other pagan groups as well. We don't own it, we're not trying to claim ownership to it, we're just looking to build a relationship with it, to work there, to feel and experience without imprinting on how other people go there. We had the intention, we stated this in our petitions, if you like, that we would be responsible for the site while we were there. We would leave it as we found it. I personally wasn't looking for anything in particular. My experience sort of in our quiet time was interesting in that, I made a point of making a sketch of it afterwards, but it felt very much the ancestor spirits there, it felt like they made a connection, they observed what we did. And I feel that they have at least let me know that they were present. And that's powerful, and it's just in many ways, all I'd really ask for in working there as a spiritual practice is to strengthen bonds, and it's that accepting self-responsibility for how I and we as a group do things there, or as we as a group operate, is that we are responsible for our own actions, and the relationship between us, spirits, ancestors, and the gods is very much a working relationship that sometimes you have to give and sometimes you receive gifts. We weren't there to sort of demand or ask for things unnecessarily, and I think that's the thing. It's as my friend had said prior to us being there, it's very much, even if nothing happened, the signs of divine, I don't know, make of it what you will. We created a special moment by the virtue of being there and honouring the ancestors and the location and everything that's in and around that location. All in all, as I said, we had a very good time there, very meaningful. A test, physical test, it took me a few days to recover properly. Can't lie about that. It was draining. In terms of my own personal rune work, I was at the end of a significant stage of being connected to Gabo, and feel that I gave a lot more than I had given or have given in the past. But in turn, that was also reflective of how I feel that the runes have helped me in my recovery from my injury, and wanting to acknowledge that and give something back. So all in all, it was kind of a culmination of many things, and come away with, feeling inspired, enlightened, and grateful for our group, the friends we have and that we've made in Kent Gorsedd, who, we had the time to break our camp before they turned up for their open ritual. We did not make any sort of impact on what they did. Obviously we took part in that, because it's all about building bonds and creating friendship and honouring each other. Slept well that following night, I'll say that. So yeah, that was Coldrum Long Barrow, and a first overnight stay. Won't be the last, I don't think. It's just sort of moving forward, a little bit better organisation, knowing the hard work it takes to do. Anyway, happy to hear thoughts. Sorry it's been a while since my last video. I've been I don't know, coping with things and moving to a different stage. I would say I feel like, plus I've been doing quite a lot of writing as well as some artwork, and that's all stuff that you will see soonish once I publish volume 3 of the Performance Edda. Do take care. Goodbye. Thank you for listening. All the best.